Jeff Howard here at Kiteboarding.com. We're doing another review. This time we've got the 2014 Lithium from Airush. Now, let me tell you, this kite is definitely one of the top ranking kites out there. It has been tested. When the magazines test it, it definitely comes out as one of the top. And there's a lot of good reasons about that. And I want to try to run you through as much as I can. There's a lot of neat little points about this kite. But one thing is they still have their smart bar. Now, why is it so smart? They called it the smart bar because it had a lot of adjustability back in the day, and it still does. You can quickly change the bar length by pushing the button here, sliding the bar in out, and putting the fitting back in. The only downside of that is losing those fittings. Make sure you get them zipped in your bag. You won't have any problems. If you do lose them, it'll still work, but it'll be kind of ugly at the end. But that's the only downfall. It's nothing major on there, so make sure to have those little points in there, those little sliders, and put them away because you'll use it later as you get a bigger kite or you go from a bigger kite to a smaller kite. One of the two. Now, this is a 145 centimeter bar. This is the small one. This kite definitely turns really good, really fast. They've increased the turning speed of this kite, and that is one of the big points coming from the bar as well. Now, the bar itself is really nice. It has a rigid in here. It's very, very comfortable to ride with. Nothing that's aggressive on your hand. The fly lines are all the same. They have the beefier front lines, the slightly less on the back lines, obviously just less drag and more strength on the front. A really nice bar setup. It does have the upper sheeting strap, so that means the sheeting strap is up above you. So if you're short, that's kind of a problem. It's kind of hard to reach. It does have the danglies to hang down here and grab a hold of, but pulling your position forward to get those, sometimes for me personally, that takes me off of my edge. And since I'm 6'1", no problem at all, but if you're shorter, that could be an issue. Pay attention to that. That's something there. It does have a really nice, this is the same chicken loop they've used for a while. It's very nice, easy push-away release. Does have the plastic-coated center line, so that basically reduces almost no wear at all on the chicken loop. The safety line does run through here, but I have yet to see one of those wear out. If you keep it very sandy, it is possible. It all slides through the chicken loop here. Everything spins. If you want to unspin it, many times all you got to do is grab the chicken loop line and spin that, and it will unspin everything. So their swivel point is here, and some of them are up above. This one's down below. Really nice system, very easy to use. The front lines match hook up to the kite. So let's talk about the kite a little bit, what has changed. Well, if you can see here in the 2014, they call this the aramid reinforcing sail that they put on here. Now, this is a good idea. It does increase the weight of the kite. It does give you strength into the cloth that keeps reduced stretching over time and everything else. So I think it's a great thing, other than it just adds weight sometimes to kites, and sometimes they can just increase in their weight. But this thing flies fantastic. It definitely is going to last. If you're in a very good windy spot, why are you worried about light wind? If you're looking for these smaller kites, the 10 meter, the 12 meter, and everything else, no problems at all. They do a lot of really good reinforcements on these kites. They run this reinforcing ribbon all the way down these struts. The reason that you need this on here is to keep this from bending in a wave and taking more load and keeping this Dacron from splitting out at times. This is a flat seam underneath here, so this is definitely something you would want on this kite. It's not a rolled seam here. The rolled seam is on the top. So that will give it a lot of reinforcement. So adding all these reinforcements that they do to the kite is not a problem because it's a 3-strut kite. So this you get your weight differential taken up by doing all the reinforcements, cutting out a few struts, so everything is there. Very, very good low end. This is a kite that I highly recommend for the guys that are heavier weight. They really, really like it. It's a very, very progressive bar pressure, meaning that when you pull down on the bar to power up, you will feel that in the bar itself. So as you're pulling down, it will gradually increase, and you know where you are and what angle of attack that kite is at. It's a really cool feeling that gives it to you. Now, one thing they do on all of their bridles have a lot of pulleys in here. You'll see this is a 3-bridled pulley system. One thing I do like is they have definitely not used a manufactured pulley. They make their own. It's a molded one. It's very, very strong. We have yet to see one of these fail. Very, very strong. Now, you've got to keep up with these. Make sure that these things stay clean. Now, what this will do, and what they claim it does, is when you're depowering up through the system, the way that that kite changes its angle of attack, you still have good control of that kite. So they like to use the pulleys. Some of them don't at all. But they do, and you can feel that progressiveness all the way through that bridle system. But again, keep up with your pulleys. Keep these washed, keep the sand out of them. They will last you a long time, and you will get that feeling that they're calling the progressive type feel as you're depowered. Now, the pumping system is a one-pump system, works very well. It's the same system they've used in the last couple of years. All the hoses, the clamps in here, and everything else. I'm trying to see a little bitty points that they've done. They've done some reinforcing. They run the strengthened trailing edge on here that keeps the wear and tear down. That's a Dacron trailing edge down here instead of just a double layer. But what they've done is they've gone Dacron to double layer, because what will happen is right here you'll find a weak spot. So they beef this up a little bit to keep this from splitting out back here. Again, all these little reinforcements are really sweet. It does add weight to the kite. Is it very much? In comparison to kite size, it's not. Just right there, it's a little bit heavier than some of the other kites that are out there. And that will, and times if you're flying a bunch of kites, you will feel it will slow the kite down a little bit, just kind of make it more cumbersome, but not on this lithium. This thing turns really, really fast, flies really good, gives you a good lowing grunt. So as an all-around kite, this is another one of those. I'd put this in the class of the Slingshot Rally and the Switchblade Cabrina Switchblade. A really, really great kite. In the ozone side, you got the Catalyst. These kites are some of those that will grow with you for a long period of time. You can get started on one of these kites and it'll grow with you and progress with you a long way in the sport, which is really cool. I like that in the kiteboarding side of things. You're not getting one kite specific, more specific. They're starting to kind of bring them into a group, and it's working really well. This is one kite I really, really enjoy riding. Now, another little point. One of our guys here, they've done difference on the bags. Bags are usually the same. Every manufacturer brings them out, and they don't make much changes. This is a really neat bag. They turn it into a little duffel bag, so you can put your kite inside of here. It makes either a duffel bag. At the same time, it's still a backpack. You can wear it as a backpack if you want. And these straps right here are removable. If you don't want them, you can undo them or loosen them up, I believe here. Nah, they'll stay on there, sorry. But they'll loosen up depending on size. But it's a really neat bag, a little expansion to it. If you go to travel, it does still have some weight to it. Sometimes the small compression things will save you a lot of weight, but it's got a neat pockets around there. Just want to bring that up. They did actually put a little bit of love in a bag as well. But that's a 2014 Airush Lithium, one of the great all-around kites. We test them here. We definitely give you the positive feedback, or give you the feedback. It's true feedback in all of our riders. This is one of the kites that does not stay in this shop. We had to get it back in here for this video. So anyway, that's Jeff Howard here at Kiteboarding.com. Tell you the truth, keep you updated on all the top gear so you know what to pick.